Hey everyone, it's Carmina with Printed Chaos, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about printer waste, because as much as I love these multicolor prints, they certainly do come with a cost. Okay, so I printed this gorgeous dragon. I mean, look at this beautiful dragon. It was printed in several pieces. The body was one plate, and then the head and the wings were a separate plate. And as you can see, this was a color change on literally every layer. Every single layer that this head was printing at had to change colors multiple times. So it took a lot. And with this print, I think I had like 10 plushies with just the head and the wings to try and make it one of those, save as much as I can, because otherwise it would have been so much waste in my little poop basket. So these are all the little plushies that I printed with this specific, with both of the plates. And I did this to try and save on some filament. So what I do with my plushies is I just put them in a grab bin, and kids can pick out whatever they want for $1 a piece. And some of them turn out really nice. Like this one's pretty cool looking. Even the little hippogriffs have like a Zorro mask going on here. It's kind of funny. They're cute, and the kids still seem to like them. Some of them turn out pretty cool still. So it's a little dragon. I showed you guys the unicorn. And so that's one way to save a little bit, because all of this would have ended up in my poop bucket if I didn't print them to objects. And I can show you in a little bit on how I set that up in the slicer so that it does that. The other thing I did was reduce my flush volume, because I, as you can see, have a really nice clean white print without any bleed. There's no bleed here, and that is with a flush volume of 0.6. Now the standard flush volume is 1 on the settings that normally happen on the bamboo slicer. So I changed this one to 0.6. I usually do 0.5 and have a great result still with no bleed, but I knew I had this silk white and I have pink and green, and I just didn't want to take the chance with the white. So what I did was I ended up using 0.6 for this one, and it turned out excellent. I mean, it's beautiful. So you don't need to use 1 because it's very conservative. Like, you don't need to do that. You can use a lower volume flush and it will still turn out really pretty. So that saves a lot as well. Okay, so we've got this really cool dragon popped up in Bamboo Studio, and as you can see, it's got 4 different colors, and it's going to have a lot of different color changes, and it's gonna take a long time to print. So what I'm gonna do to try and save some of this waste is, first thing, I'm gonna check on my flushing volumes, and you can do that right up here. Click on flushing volumes, and you can see it's set at 0.8. That's actually not too bad. However, I know that I have had successful prints at 0.5. So I'm going to drop it to 0.5, and it automatically will go ahead and change the values based on the color. So, from black to white, it's going to purge a lot more, because you need to purge more to get a cleaner print without any bleed for a dark color to a light color. Same thing here, you'll see with red and black, it's more, and gold and black, red and gold. So that's how you kind of tell how much is being purged per change. So I'm gonna hit OK for that. So that'll save some of the poop that comes out. Now the other way to do it is to add some different things here. And so I'm just gonna check on the height of this. So you can add in some flushies, as we call it, and you would just go up here to the box where it says add. You can choose any plushie that you want. I'm trying to think. I like to get something that is close to the height of this, the tallest part, so that way it will flush the whole time to that object. If you get something short, it's gonna stop like over here. And so that means then everything here is just gonna be going into your poop basket. So let's do, I wanna say the unicorn is pretty tall. It is a hatchling, so it's tiny, but what we can do is, as you can see, he's taller. Let me just check. Okay, not quite all the way up there. However, I could probably scale him a little bit. So we go up here to scale. Let's scale him to 125 so that we don't mess with the integrity of the structure of this print. And we've got it on uniform scale. So now he's a little bigger, it'll be a little taller. So that will help. Okay, I'm just checking on the joints. And I can clone him. So let's go ahead and clone him once so we can put another one on the other side. Another good thing to do is use fidgets. A lot of people will use fidgets, and that is another really easy way to flush into objects. So let's see, too close to exclusion area. Okay, got it. That's fine, we'll figure it out. Oh, it's this right here, right? So we can't put anything near this gray box. So that's okay, we'll just move him back a bit. And we'll rotate him so that he's not, his head's not in that area. Oh great, maybe I can't do that. Let's see, let's move the dragon. So it does take a little bit of, you know, playing around to get this to work. All right, so now he's good. I'm gonna be putting as much on here as possible so that I'm not wasting. So that one's good. We are in the correct area. I like to do a lot of spider flushies. So I will go and get Cinder Wings spiders. Let's see. And let's go to Cinder Wings file. But you get the point. So what I'm trying to say is find things to flush into these objects, and so, or flush the waste into. So let's, I don't know, let's just pick a tiny crystal spider. Oh, it's the wrong file type. Go back to tiny. Hollow spider. Okay, so we've got our little hollow spider. We can put him over here, and I'm gonna see if I can scale him up to 125 as well. I have not had any issues scaling this up to 125. I want to make him bigger. I just haven't done it yet because I'm a little nervous about it messing with the joints. See this, and I can't because of all this stuff in the way. Okay. All right, we are just gonna move this way a little so that we can move this here. I think it's all in now. Let's see. Yep, nothing is touching each other. Boy, that unicorn is really close to that dragon foot. Should be fine though. Okay, so now we're going to work on flushing it to these objects. So it's already highlighted here. So what you're gonna do is select the object and you're gonna go to others. And all you're gonna do is just choose this flush into this object. And you're gonna do it for all the objects. So let's go ahead and do that. Flush into this object. So we've got 3 objects that we're doing this with. And that's fine. I mean, I would prefer it to be more. However, we do have a big dragon that we're trying to print. So it is going to take a lot of space on your plate, and I can definitely fit more in. So I may work on that, you know, outside of this video, but I just wanted to show you guys how you can save on some of this filament waste, and that's by flushing into this object. So let's slice this plate. It's going to take a while. I apologize because my computer is so slow. This computer was just not made for this kind of work, and my husband's actually building another one right now, so I'll be primarily using that when it is done, because it is going to be able to handle this so well compared to this little Microsoft Surface Pro here. So while it slices, you'll be able to see how much filament waste is still going to happen and how much is going to be used for the actual models. Okay, so this has sliced. It literally took like 10 minutes. That was ridiculous. And you can see this dragon is going to take forever. A day, 3 hours and 39 minutes. And that's with like whatever these standard settings are, which are a layer height of 0.2. I don't know if I'd keep that. I usually like to make them a little bit more detailed, which would increase the time. But there's a lot of flush waste here. Like, there's still too much flush waste. I don't like it. I would definitely add some more fleshies. Like, I would definitely add one in here. I would add some more smaller stuff up here, and I would surround this thing. Like, it would be surrounded with fleshies, so that, and yes, it would increase the time. However, this would decrease. So like 29% of this is still being flushed, and it's only using 21, or not used. I'm trying to remember how to read this. Sorry, guys. So the model filament is 90, right? But and that's for just the one. But the total filament being used is 121. So that difference is what's being wasted. So that is what is this, the 64.55 is what's gonna go in your poop bucket. So you wanna decrease that number as much as possible, and that's what you're gonna do by adding these fleshies. So I hope I explained that well. If you guys wanna see more of these tips on how to help reduce some of these the waste that goes into multicolor, I'm going to show you guys again real quick what I did to also save on that waste. So let's check that out real quick. So here are some adorable little fidgety keychains that I printed, and this I love because the designer makes her files in parts so that you can print every little thing separately, so you're not wasting any color changes or anything like that. So this little part in here was printed separate, this part here was printed separate, obviously the body was, and then each little dot. So yes, it took a lot of post-processing time to get this done and a lot of gluing. However, I saved so much on filament waste. Like, this would have been a lot of waste. And so now I have this adorable little print. Same here. This I did in a multicolor, so I didn't have to worry about that. Like, I used a gradient, and then this is the little back that I popped on. So I absolutely love this designer. Check her out on Patreon. Her name is Puffy Puff. She makes the cutest little stuff. And so I'm going to turn these ones into little keychains. Let me show you another one that I did. I just made one of to test it out. Look at this little bee. It's so cute. I love these things. So the eyes were separate and I glued them in. And then same thing with this piece up here. This whole ring was separate and I just popped it on. And the body parts actually printed separate too. So inside here are little connector clips. You can kind of see one right there. And then that connector clip, there's two of them. So you push them in, you connect it, and then you just snap this on and it holds it together. So I love this little bee. It turned out so adorable. So ideally, these are the little things I like to print with my color changers because it's not too much of a waste. I'm not going to do a plushie with brown, black, and pink. Like, that's just not really going to be cute. I like this because the first layer is pretty much one color, and then when it switches, it's mostly brown with a little bit of change for the pink for a few, you know, a little bit of layers. Then we go to the eyes. It's not too much of a waste. So I really love this pangolin. It printed well and it wasn't too much of a waste. So those are kind of the things I look for when choosing the files that I'm gonna print multicolor. Okay, so now we're gonna look at a plushie fail. First of all, how cute is this sugar glider? He obviously had a lot of color changes, literally every layer, because you go from black and white and gray and pink. So, but look how cute. I had to print him. And so what I did, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna flush all of it into another sugar glider because it's the same height. So let's do it. However, I just didn't think of the fact that he's very minimal in terms of color. Like, it's gray, black, and pink, and white. What am I gonna get with that kind of flush? Well, let me show you. It was not pretty. It's not pretty. It's just a gray sugar glider with a little bit of black on top. He just didn't look too cool. Obviously, we're just gonna hang on to him and my kids will play with him, and it's fine because, you know, look how cute he is. He even curls up into a little ball. So adorable. But yeah, this was definitely a plushie fail because this just does not look cute at all. Some other really cool plushies I want to show you guys before we say bye for now is this little guy. He turned out really pretty. And this one, little hollow spider, turned out super cool as well. And then just a couple of little minis that I printed. And I'll see y'all next time.